What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, joined by the one, the only,
Gershwan.
And today we have a giraffe in the room, so kind of be wary of that.
Yep.
Because this is another episode of For the Greater
War. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. And that is what... Give me a second. DesertHeat has done. He says, do you think that the Emperor's sword is one of the Crone swords? So let's explain what Crone swords are.
Yes, Crone swords, legend, like in the legends, are the 5 fingers of the god of smiths for the Eldar, Vol. Each sword was created from one of his fingers that I believe Chronomancer cut off his hand, and they are super powerful weapons of psychic power. There are currently 4, I believe, in possession. The Yvraine has one. Her swordsman buddy, I forgot his name, the guy in the red armor, he has another. Prince Yariel has the Spear of Twilight, which is not a sword, but is still a Crone sword. And the other one is carried by the Avatar of Iniad, the Incarn. So there's 1 left.
And it's probably not the Emperor's sword. It's probably Farsight, right?
There's a lot of theories out there that it could be Farsight's sword because it was found on a dead world of Arthas Malak. It's able to sap the lifespan of things that it kills and adds it to its wielder. And it's of unknown origins. So that could be a huge contender for the final sword, which would be interesting because to see a storyline, a crusade, a campaign with the Tau and the Eldar would be pretty neat. I don't see them interacting very much together, so it'd be pretty cool to see that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Emperor's sword,
yep.
That is just... It is super strong psychically. He's able to channel his psychic power into it to shoot out like psychic flame that would literally burn pretty much anything. It is just a powerful weapon, but I don't think that would be a weapon of the Eldar.
Right. And I think the story with him is like he derived it from something, right?
Yes.
He created it himself.
Right. But again, like they could always retcon things to make it say, "Oh yeah, he created it," but it was like using Eldar technology or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Where it's probably gonna be, I have a feeling that it's probably gonna be like in the webway or something like that. Maybe Segura has it hidden away and will use it when the time is right. Because the legend has it that when all 5 Crone swords are used in tandem, that's what's going to lead towards the Rana Dandra, I believe is what it's called, which is the end times of the Eldar mythology, which is when like all the gods will come back, Slaanesh will be defeated, and the Eldar will have a second golden age.
Yep. Which will probably never happen.
Right. So does that mean we'll never get the 5th sword? Who knows? And the thing about the Crone swords, like I was saying with Prince Yariel being a spear, it doesn't even have to be a sword. So it could be anything.
Yeah.
I believe the Incarn sword can actually shapeshift. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already out there.
Next question comes from Doomslayer Great. If the Doomslayer came into the 40K universe, do you think mankind would worship the Slayer? I don't really know too much of the backstory behind the Slayer. I never got into Doom.
Basically, he's a space marine, but with like the plot armor of like the Spartan from Halo, and he just goes into hell and like beats everything.
So he's Drago.
Yeah, basically, he's Khaldor Drago. I don't think humanity would worship him.
No.
No.
Because they don't worship like space marines either. They see them in awe and they see them as like potential gods. But well, actually, that's a lie. Because some planets do worship space marines.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're the angels of the god Emperor.
Yeah.
They still pray and believe in the Emperor, but these are his angels.
Yeah. So if anything, it would just be similar to a space marine.
Mm-hmm. Caboose NZ69 says, "How many humans are there in the 40K galaxy, population-wise?"
Too many to count.
Yeah, dude. Certain worlds have like billions just living in one of those spires.
And there's no way for recording.
Right, there's
like
just too many.
It's an untold number, yeah. Because there's like certain planets that come and go, some planets that like exist
behind like a warp storm, so
Yeah.
they don't even know those planets exist.
Mm-hmm.
Certain planets get swallowed by the warp and then come out, and everybody's all like plaguey.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yep. Next question comes from David Graham. Do clones in 40K have souls? If not, what would that mean for Fulgrim's copy? So far, yeah. Right?
I would assume so. I mean, if Fulgrim, if clone Fulgrim didn't have a soul, I feel like he would just be like almost like a servitor, like unthinking, not really having a personality. But that's not the case, because he's actually acting and behaving like Great Crusade Fulgrim. So he's not corrupted by chaos. He still sees himself as a loyalist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
Are they going to do anything with it? I hope so. But, I mean, when it comes to Slanesh and the Emperor's Children, we barely get anything.
Yeah, I wish we would.
Right.
Next question.
Juan Jose Mendeville. After the video of the update for the Avatar of Cain, do you two believe that the Eldar would have a new lord to explain it? Or GW, in its economic wisdom, will say, it'll just happen, don't think about it, buy it, it's good.
What do they have to explain?
So basically, the Avatar of Cain wasn't so good in the lore and on the tabletop. And now he's a monster capable of taking down a Titan in a single round of combat. Like, are they going to explain that? Or are they just going to be like, look, he's really good now, buy it?
I think what it is like within the lore, we know that it's a shitty model, or it's a shitty thing because it constantly gets defeated. Mm-hmm. But also in the lore, it's the strongest thing that the avatars can do. It's like the last resort, and it always brings victory.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, lore-wise, he's supposed to be a beast, but just the way the writers have made it, he's taken more L's and more W's, so that's why we all see it that way.
Yeah. But
now I feel like it actually plays how it should be in the lore. So GW being GW, they're not going to explain it. They'll just be like, he was always this strong.
Yep.
Buy it.
Do it.
And then we'll FAQ it a few months later.
Yeah.
To make it not as good.
Next question.
This one is by Brian B. Do you put your toilet paper over or under the roll?
Mine's over.
Yeah, it's always got to be over. Feels weird when you're like pulling it this way instead of this way.
And then they say that certain restaurants and stores do it under because you're more prone to like rip it off, like only use a couple things. But I don't think that's true. Next question.
This one is by...
I have one from Werewolf Pirate.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who would win, the Katachan versus Cadians? Well, Cadian's gone.
Yeah, but not their soldiers, not their men.
Yeah, so if like Cadian guards versus Katachan, I think Katachan usually are a little bit more tougher, but it depends on the scenario.
Yeah, it depends on where they're fighting.
Because Canadians, because Cadians are probably going to be more diverse and can think on the spot. Mm-hmm. They're really well educated. They come from Fortress Planet, or from I think it's called the Fortress Planet. Mm-hmm. Katachan
came because it's not there anymore.
Yeah. Katachan is very.
They're like the Rambos. They're jungle fighters. They're tough. They could take on like Tyranids and stuff like that. Because on Katachan, the equator is just like an area of like super aggressive hyper predators, and that's what they're good at. Yep. They're good at camouflage, stealth kills, tackling against apex predators. So they're not slouches,
right?
But take them out of their environment that they're used to fighting, they'll still be powerful, but I don't think they'll be as powerful as like a well-rounded force.
Yeah, they'll have their disadvantages. Mm-hmm. Good question though.
Yeah.
This one's by Guy Bob. Sound Alchemist, is this a new style with the fly ass pullover and hat, or are you just a little chilly? Also, Gersh, your hats are fly too. And do you mix or match brands for your digs? That's funny.
Yeah.
What were we wearing last time? Probably like... Oh, you were wearing a beanie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I cut my hair, so that's different now. I took off the pullover, so that's not fly. Do you change brands for your digs?
No, my hats are always the Nike hats that are like for when I go to the gym, because I sweat a lot. I get a sweaty head.
So when you take your hat off, you like shower in the sweat.
Yeah, it's really gross. Yep. I also wash my hats a lot, and then that makes them tattered looking. Next question.
This one's by Templar Seer. Are there sports teams in the 40K universe? Like, do different hive cities have different death space soccer teams?
Yeah, think of that one show or that one movie where like there's like a death race with like I forget what it's called.
A death
Anita?
race.
Or
Alita, Battle Angel?
yeah, that one. Think of stuff like that. They have those types of deadly sports and hive cities and stuff.
Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's not like every planet has these things.
Right.
Certain planets, they're going to be like, who needs entertainment like that? Just work till you die.
Yeah, on feudal planets they have like tournaments. I think they're called tourneys, right? Like,
yeah, tourneys, yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Dawa Penjor. Can a Nid eat the Emperor? And if they did, what happens? We've answered this question a few times, and it is possible for the Tyranids to consume the Emperor, because even though he's like in a half-dead state, mostly skeleton, he's still biomass. So if they eat the Emperor, they're probably going to get a huge psychic boost. Their regeneration is going to be off the charts. Like, if you thought they were like a huge threat to the Imperium now, like, this pretty much guarantees that the Imperium is over. Because not only did they make it to Terra, to the Golden Throne, they've gotten through all those defenses. They now have the genetic material of the strongest psyker in potentially the galaxy. So yeah, it's over. It's done. Forever and ever. No more Super Bowl halftime shows, guys. Justice 777. If you summoned Captain Planet on Terra, what would he be made of?
I don't remember too much about Captain Planet.
So it's like earth, water, fire, whatever, combine into Captain Planet.
So we would probably have to combine etheric power, obviously, for the warp.
Depression.
Oppression, for sure. Grim darkness, which is, I guess, the same. So we'll take grim darkness out. And then what else?
Pollution
is a big thing. Shit, yeah. Lack of knowledge, so ignorance.
Yeah.
So all of that kind of stuff, and then it would create the grim dark Earth planet man thing.
Yes. He'd still look like Don Cheadle.
Next question comes from Caboose NZ69. How many humans are there? Oh, no, we already talked about this.
We did.
Yeah, never mind. You got one?
This one's by AnimeSand, and this is regarding why we always talk and answer Brian B's questions.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it for a second.
He says, could you guys swap me with Brian B under the table? I'll swallow.
Yeah, because you think that we cater to him too much, yeah. Brian B. I think he posts like multiple things though. So.
Yeah, and some of his questions are pretty interesting and intricate.
But if you swallow them, for sure.
Because we don't like a mess.
No. Next question.
Oh, AnimeSand. That was your chance to ask an actual question. Now we'll never get to you.
Damn Legion says, what could actually happen if one of the Chaos Gods were killed or destroyed? How would the balance fall?
So that's definitely going to be a huge blow to like Chaos in general. Because now, like, all their Marines, like the Emperor's children, I don't think they'll lose the boons, but they won't be able to amass anymore. All the other Chaos Gods would probably prey on them, either to kill them off or induct them into their own armies, because the Chaos Demons would be gone, since Chaos Demons come from the Chaos God himself, or herself, itself, theyselves, Slaanesh.
Yeah.
I still think Chaos would still be a wheel. It'll still turn. The power struggles will keep on moving, even if you remove one of those gods.
Yep. Which I don't think would be that bad either, because like once you take away like a Chaos God, like let's say Khorne, other Chaos Gods could kind of take on that or feed off of those other elements like Rage. Rage, I guess you can find pleasure in Rage.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that.
Right. Would it benefit the material world? Definitely, especially the Eldar. They wouldn't have to worry about having their souls get consumed by Slaanesh. They could repopulate again.
If it is Slaanesh that would get destroyed.
True. Yeah. Which I think that's what he said.
No, he just said a Chaos God.
Oh, just a Chaos God?
Yeah.
Oh. Why is my mind on Slaanesh?
I don't know. Maybe, oh, because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it
it was.
say-
It
yeah,
was.
yeah.
You guys are watching this in the future.
Yep. Next question.
This one is by Zoe Glass. In the very first Horus heresy book, Horus Rising, before Horus is corrupted, it is brought to his attention that the Imperial Fists were recalled from the Great Crusade to fortify Terra. Given that mankind was on the verge of winning the Great Crusade, and that there was virtually no chance of a Xeno invasion, do you think that this is proof that the Emperor planned the heresy to eventually ascend to godhood?
No. I think he kind of understood that the weakest points of the Imperium now are the people that are part of the Imperium. So the enemy from within.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing. He was defending himself from the enemy within, which turned out to be Horus. That's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is, yeah. But I mean, that's 40K. They're playing with like time and future and like, is this really? It's like an episode of That's So Raven. It's like the Emperor saw the future and he's trying to change it, but the events that he's trying to change it is actually what leads to that future.
Yep. Now, who's Raven's friend? The one that turned out to be a trash guy? That I don't know.
Yeah, Malkador.
Malgador, probably.
But Malkador was a hero.
He was. It's weird that he died, but Belisarius called did. Next question comes from Shovi. Which Primarch would you like to land on Earth in the present and rise up to rule it? Sanguineous, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's a unanimous choice.
Even though what sucks is that every single one of the Primarch stories is like they're jumping into a really, really shitty place, or into a place where they're about to get raided or get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So if a Primarch lands here, then that means that something bad is about to happen.
Right. But we have Sanguineous, so it's okay.
Even though people still die around him.
Yeah.
He survives, but we don't. Next question.
This is a long one. Do I want to read it? Nah. Mr. Kobslaw says, would blanks be immune to the Force? This is in relation to Star Wars versus 40K. So blanks is meant to be strictly warp.
Mm-hmm.
The Force, midichlorians, that's not warp related. So I don't think they'd have anything to do with it.
Yep.
You'd still feel that, like, well, would you? Because like, would humanity or would sentient beings in Star Wars create they have souls, right? I would assume so.
Yeah.
So would that mean they would have a presence in the warp? Like, let's say they got taken from Star Wars universe to 40K universe.
Because they're two different things, I think that they could go either way. They either are technically everybody from 40K that goes over to the Star Wars universe is a blank, or everybody who goes from the Star Wars universe over here is also
like a minor, a psyker.
Not a psyker. Like,
no.
Because like I mean, unless we want to compare psychic powers to, or unless we want to tie psychic powers to warp powers, or not warp powers. What is it? The force powers?
Yeah. Light side, dark side, all that stuff.
Yeah, so it really depends on how you want to twist it. Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's up to you. You decide.
When you're home brewing.
Brewing homes.
Next question. I have one from Gofarious Rebels. I think we haven't done this one. It says, "Sup, boys?"
Yo, yo.
My question is, didn't the Necrons you mentioned last video, who could control change time, wasn't he able to change certain things, but came with terrible consequences right after? I remember correctly. It's what's his name?
The Chronomancer, the Cryptech.
From what I remember is what you said, that like he couldn't change it.
Yeah, so I think everything that he tried to do still led to that cataclysmic event, which is what you were saying. He would change the future and made a cataclysmic event? No, I think he saw that cataclysmic event and he tried to do things to change it, but that cataclysmic event would always still happen.
Yep. Now I wonder if you can make it so that, well, I mean, you probably couldn't, because like then there's destiny. Because I wonder if you can create like a catastrophic event that still happens, but certain people survive.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Serkan Akin says, are there any martial arts in the Warhammer 40K galaxy? Kind of like traditional martial arts that we have. Or is it just the one with the bigger gun wins? Such as sometimes I see these Tau heroes that have a stick in their hand. You're probably thinking of the Ethereals. Yeah, there's martial arts does still exist. We can see that with the Adeptus Custodes. They have martial katas, different fighting stances, where it's like sweeping blow, killing strike, stuff like that. So yeah, martial arts are still a very big part of the 40K universe. The Ethereals practice it with like staffs or like batons and stuff like that.
But is it powerful against like a gun? No.
No, yeah, you're still gonna get smashed unless you're the main character of a book. Because then we have like the Ethereal Anshi taking out like a whole orc. Like, I don't know how big the horde was, but like he could like kill orcs with just like his like stick and martial arts, and he created like a little hill of like orc bodies. Yep. That probably wouldn't happen normally, but it's cool.
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, this has been the Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan,
and we are out.
Oh, I used to put my